Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Baking with Brando. So it's October 35th, and we're working on our last pumpkin-flavored dessert. I'm thinking it's gonna be a pumpkin cake, and I'm hoping to wrap it in a chocolate lattice. So we're gonna start with some fresh pumpkin right off the vine. See, I got a special tool here for harvesting. Pop. So here's the recipe we're working with. If you add a little more flour, I find it makes a good loaf as well, fun fact. But it's got some pumpkin, some sugar, oil, and a couple eggs, and that's gonna be our wet base. We're just gonna mix this all together and get ready to move on to the dry. In the dry, we got some flour, some baking soda, baking powder, salt, and a pretty hefty spoonful of cinnamon. Just gonna add all that and sift it all together. Sifting's good. If you have the opportunity to, just do it. I'm mixing this a little bit weird. I'm doing it like a muffin. So I'm getting a well in the center of my dry. I added my wet, and you just kind of move it around and collect the dry from the outside in. I moved to a spatula afterwards and started folding, which is more classical to make it like a cake. You don't want to really beat this up. It's a cake. It's pretty delicate. We're fully mixed here and we're going into a pan. I just put a little bit, so I made way too much batter, but that's okay, because like I said, it makes a great loaf. So I think I'll have something for breakfast tomorrow. Just a quick oven shot for those who appreciate it. So I've been baking this for about 10 to 15 minutes. I just gave it a quick finger tap and it bounced back real nice, so that means it's done to me. It also means we're ready to move on to our next step, which I believe is the pumpkin pie filling. So we've done this before on this channel. It's a pumpkin pie filling. It's pretty basic, honestly. It's just some pumpkin, some sugar, seasoning, and we're just gonna add some eggs and liquid to kind of make it more wet. But it's got the eggs, which is our structure, so it will bake up nice in the oven. I'm doing it again without adding any crust, because I'm trying to just get the filling here. I wanna have something I can pipe and work with. So there it is. That looks nice to me. I'll do a quick taste test. Just make sure it's got the right amount of stuff. I added more salt here. That was pretty much all I had to add. I kind of got the rest all right, I think. We'll bake this for at least 30 minutes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit and get ready to move on to the next step, which is a candied orange zest. So we're going to start by peeling out this orange and slicing it up into strips, because it's going to give us something nice that we can garnish with down the road. So now that we got these nice strips, we're just gonna blanch them a couple times, because they got a bit of bitterness that we want to get rid of. So there we are. It's blanch number 1, going on blanch 2 here. Nice. So you just strain it out. You could probably go for another blanch, but I was feeling lazy, so I only did 2. And here I am. I make a quick sugar syrup, and I'm just gonna throw those back in there. I just want to cook them on low until they start getting a little translucent. That's how I know I've really gotten sugar in them. I'm just gonna pull them out, throw them on a baking sheet here. I'm gonna put them in my oven at as low a temperature as possible. I'm just trying to dehydrate. I don't want to bake at all. We'll cross them off the list. We'll move on to the next step, which is using the rest of our orange here. We're gonna try and make a fluid gel, because if you've watched this channel at all, you know I have an obsession with putting dots on plates, whether or not it's actually beneficial in the long haul. So I'm just adding my orange juice into that syrup pot that we made earlier. Trying to reuse stuff so I don't have too much lying around. Add a little bit of vanilla. Now we're gonna start adding some agar powder. That's just like red seaweed powder essentially, and it's gonna help us gellify. It's something vegans use to make like panna cottas and jellos, I find too, which aren't like best texture, but that's all right, it works great. So here we are, we're the next day. I'm gonna pull this out, try and pop it out of our pan. You see what I mean? It gets very jelly-like. There it is. Slap it down on the counter, and we're just gonna do a very fast cut. That's me working at full speed, by the way, just so you all know. Definitely didn't speed anything up there. We'll pop this into our little magic bullet blender, and I'm just gonna add a touch of liquid. You don't wanna add too much. We're gonna do a little bit at each time and blend it in like sections. So again, just a touch of liquid. If you add too much, once that gets to the plate, it's not gonna hold very well. It's just gonna kind of like, it'll be like a runny sauce. Like, you don't want that. It won't hold those nice structures, dots and shapes. We'll strain this and pop it into a bottle real quick. Cross it off and move on to the next step, which is that chocolate lattice ring I was going on about at the beginning of the video. We're just gonna start by chopping up some chocolate, throwing it in a bowl here and melting it down, and then we're gonna add some seed chocolate. That's what that chunk is. You just wanna have some stabilized crystals already to introduce and help your mixture along the way. So I did a quick wrist check. That's how I check the temperature. Then you're gonna do a finger swab, and that's how I know that that's actually tempered, because it didn't smear all over the place. We're gonna load up a little piping bag. We call those a cornet in the biz. Just gonna fold it up and get ready to pipe here. There we go. So he's going back and forth. I'm doing like a zigzag. That way we get some actual crisscross structure going on, and I don't want it to break when I pop it out, because that would be really frustrating. There we go. So he pulls it up, and you gotta close in the back end, which I didn't do because my acetate was popping around, but you gotta close it, otherwise like this isn't going to stick to anything. You're just gonna make like a U-shaped chocolate thing. And I learned that the hard way because I did it twice before I got this. So we'll cross it off the list and we'll get ready to build this cake. I got that pumpkin flat from earlier. We're just gonna cut out some circles, and then I'm gonna slice them in half because they were a little bit thick, I found, which is no big deal. It's something we can deal with before we get ready to build. So here he is. It's gonna take his sweet time, it looks. Cut, cut, cut. I get 10 pieces here, so we only need 9. That's great. And I'm putting a caramel sauce on here instead of a simple syrup. And we'll jump directly into the white chocolate mousse here. Into a pot, we have 25 grams of heavy cream, and in a bowl, we're putting 100 grams. Then we get a little bit of egg yolk, about 20 grams, some white chocolate, and we're gonna melt that down. A good mousse has a few ingredients, but lots of steps to help them all come together. So I'm just gonna show you how I like to do it. I got my pot there, I add a little bit of cream into it, we're just warming this up. There I am with my gelatin. I should have bloomed it, but it didn't really affect anything in this part. Then we're gonna temper that into that little bit of egg yolk that we had from earlier. We'll throw that back on the bowl, and I'm cooking it to a minimum of 65 degrees Celsius. That's when egg yolks begin to set, so I think that's a safe cooking temp. If not, maybe like sound off in the comments and let me know. But as far as I know, we're good here. Gonna mix those two together once they're at the same-ish temperature. Just helps them with their consistency so it doesn't like seize or split on you. And then we're slowly in 3 parts gonna fold in our whipped cream. So I know this looks like it's a little bit runny, and that's because I have the gelatin to help it set afterwards. But if you wanted it to be like a usable mousse right away or a pipeable one, you could just fold in a little bit more whipped cream, I find. Tends to be the ticket. We'll get ready to build this cake. So we got a sheet of cake going down, our pumpkin pie filling is getting piped in, another sheet of cake, and then we're gonna pipe in our white chocolate mousse. And that's pretty much it. We're just rinse and repeating at this point. Just layer, layer, layer. It's pretty much how cakes get done. We are the last sheet of cake, and then we'll finish off with the white chocolate mousse because it gets a nice flat finish. And we'll pop this in the fridge, let it set for a half hour or so. There you go. Pulls right out of the acetate. We'll cross our white chocolate mousse off the list, and we'll get ready to plate this thing. So I really struggled in plating this, or at least making it look nice. I ended up falling back on my math-looking pie shape. I threw the cylinder in the back, and I put 5 dots of fluid gel because off numbers tend to look nicer than even numbers. And we're going in with our garnish. Got some raspberries, because raspberries look pretty and they taste yummy. How could you go wrong? Got some mint and some strawberry, because again, same-ish reason that the raspberries are there, but a little bit less pretty. I'm biased towards the raspberry, it appears. We'll go down with that salted caramel pecan ice cream we made a couple videos ago. I still got it, so we'll probably make a new ice cream in the next video. But there it is. Finished plate. Thought it looked all right. And if you do too, I wouldn't mind it if you gave me a like and subscribe. Cheers, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.